Luis Enrique, the PSG manager, left Ousmane Dembele in Paris just under a year ago before the team's Champions League trip to play Arsenal. After a dispute a few days prior, Enrique and Dembele had fallen out, and Enrique concluded it would be best to exclude the French forward completely. When Enrique arrived in London, he stated, "I am here to create a team, and in the future that might include Ousmane Dembele, just to be clear. If someone doesn't comply or respect the expectations of the team, it means they are not prepared to play," he insisted. PSG lost to Arsenal last October, but in April they were back at the Emirates Stadium, this time in the first leg of the Champions League semi-final. Dembele was the star player of that future, playing as a false nine. Dembele finished the 2024-25 season with 35 goals and 16 assists in 53 games, as PSG won the treble, including their first ever Champions League title. Even though Dembele didn't score, Enrique praised him that evening in Munich after PSG crushed Inter Milan 5-0. "I'd give the Ballon d'Or to Mr. Ousmane Dembele," Enrique remarked. "Only his defense can be worthy of the Ballon d'Or. This is how you lead a team: goals, titles, leadership, defense, and his pressing style. There is no question in my mind that Ousmane is my Ballon d'Or." Born to a Mauritanian Senegalese mother and a Malian father, the child from the French town of Vernon in Normandy completed his trip to the top of football on Monday when he was proclaimed the winner of the men's Ballon d'Or at the Théâtre du Châtelet in Paris. After spending a season under Thomas Tuchel at Rennes in northwest France, Dembele turned down the Premier League to join Borussia Dortmund at the age of 19. In 2017, he signed a £135.5 million contract with Barcelona, making him the second most expensive player in the world. Xavi, the manager of Barcelona at the time, stated in 2021 that, when used properly, Dembele could be the best player in the world. However, after a string of injuries, Barcelona sold him to PSG for £43.5 million in 2023, believing it was a good deal for a player who had not yet reached his peak and who met their criteria for wanting more French players. His friendship with Kylian Mbappé contributed to the move, but when Mbappé left for Real Madrid in 2024, Dembele became the star. Dembele was a gem that needed to be polished in the right way, and that's what Enrique and PSG managed to do, according to French football expert Julien Laurence. It helped Ousmane because he realized and began to understand what Enrique wanted and expected from him when he left him at home for the Arsenal game. That was the first turning point of the season, because it was a power flex by Enrique, but also a catalyst for Dembele, Laurence tells the reporter. His switch from winger to number 9 is another significant event. Many of his early coaches, including Roland Courbis, one of his first coaches at Rennes, believed that he was best suited as a 9 or 10, but because he was so quick and technically skilled, it was simple to put him wide. "When you look at the other Arsenal game, he was a completely different player, and they were a different team," Laurence continued. Enrique moving him centrally and building the team around him was a big turning point, not just for Dembele, but for the whole PSG. There is a beautiful movie from Dembele's teenage years at Rennes where he is asked if he is left-footed or right-footed, and many close to him feel that he is finally realizing the enormous promise they saw more than 10 years ago. He responds, left. When the journalist asks why he uses his right foot to take penalties, he adds, "Because I shoot better with my right." Social media users are still talking about Dembele's penalty past Alisson during PSG's elimination of Liverpool last season. Dembele first positioned himself to shoot with his left foot before switching up his run-up and scoring with his right. It wasn't the right move for him, but you can't turn down Barcelona and play with Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez at the Camp Nou, Laurence adds. Even when you ask Tuchel now about Dembele, his eyes spark up like, "Oh my God." You rarely see a talent like him, Laurence says. That season at Dortmund was incredible, and that's why Barcelona spent so much. Dembele has always had talent, but he has realized that he can no longer rely on it alone. He became Barcelona's most fined player in recent years, raising serious questions about his professionalism and discipline. He missed 784 days of action due to 14 muscle injuries during his time there. But in the last few years, he has paid attention to the small victories, hiring a personal physiotherapist, a nutritionist, and a chef. A person close to Ousmane said that for a long time he was so good at football that he didn't need to concentrate on anything else. He knew he could play PlayStation till 2 in the morning and still perform the next day. It just took him a little time to mature. Getting married in 2021 and becoming a dad was a big thing, as it made him more responsible, and he began to see that discipline off the pitch was crucial to his success. He realized he wasn't living the life of a professional player when things started to get tough at Barcelona, the source continues. Dembele is the sixth Frenchman to win the award, after Raymond Kopa in 1958, Michel Platini in 1983, 1984, and 1985, Jean-Pierre Papin in 1991, Zinedine Zidane in 1998, and Benzema in 2022. The last Frenchman to win the Ballon d'Or, Karim Benzema, expressed his wish he had learned about the impact of that discipline off the field sooner rather than later. Last week, when he was asked for the 100th time about Dembele and the Ballon d'Or, Enrique burst into song, shouting, "Ousmane Ballon d'Or!" Instead of Neymar and Mbappé's shirts, PSG shirts featuring Dembele now line the streets of Paris. In an interview with Copa 90, one of the first journalists to profile Dembele at the age of 16, Ben Littleton said, "We underestimate the role that randomness plays in careers, and Luis Enrique and Dembele coming to PSG with Mbappé leaving is like the perfect storm." 9 players from PSG's 2024-25 season were among the 30 nominees for the Ballon d'Or, and there can be few complaints with the award coming to the best player in the best team during the last year thanks to the perfect storm that allowed Enrique to pave the way for Ousmane Ballon d'Or. Like Rodi with Man City last year, Dembele boosted PSG's collective. Lamine Yamal is more talented than Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, but Ousmane has won the Champions League, the World Cup, La Liga, Ligue 1, and more. It is a reward, too, for the idea that the collective is first, Laurent says. As his Instagram bio states, believe. I think he did, and that belief has helped Dembele finish his comeback and establish his name alongside the game's greats. Over the past few years, some may have questioned whether Dembele would ever reach his full potential, especially after he was substituted before halftime during the 2022 World Cup final.